Anna, we're doing it. We're back.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Get ready.
Well, not ready. It's happening now.
Okay, great. Well, then I am ready.
You've just escaped an elevator, as I understand. This is breaking
Yes.
news. We're in Toronto.
Breaking news. Toronto, secretly doesn't want me here, I feel. No, we all, packed into, and it was genuinely one of those moments where we're like, can we all fit? Yeah, why not? And then the elevator actually got stuck. And at first I was like, we're not stuck, guys. That's too crazy. That wouldn't happen. And I'm just waiting for a very unremarkable thing where the, firefighters come and
Sure.
because we were waiting there for a while for the firefighters. And, I thought they would just open the door. No, we were between floors, like a movie.
You were
Look
built
at
for
me.
this kind of situation.
I'm in Die Hard, baby. It's happening. Meanwhile, I did nothing. I'm an action hero. The firefighters are like, you hung limp like a baby and we saved you, you idiot. I truly was, as I'm climbing up going I had a very short skirt option today. And I said, no, I just feel like I want to wear the long skirt.
You were a changed person. I knew the Anna
have a
before,
new
and now
lease on
Anna
life.
post-traumatic incident.
Right? I'm suddenly full of gratitude all the time. This will last an hour, and then
Right.
I will immediately go back to being bitter about everything.
Oh no, I want the bitter Anna back.
Okay, great.
Okay, let's just skip the gratitude part.
I hate everything.
Yes. It is legitimately good to see you out in the wild, in person, like human beings.
Yes.
Congratulations on the new film.
Thank you.
So Alice Darling, we're going to talk about. This is, it's kind of like Girls Trip without the laughs, a little bit.
Yeah,
You can have that for free.
Very grim, sad, handheld girl strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was put off by the blooper reel at the end. That was surprising to me.
I hate when you have great bloopers on a really sad movie, because guess what? You still have fun
Of
on a really
course.
sad movie, and you build friendships and have fun moments. And then you're like, no one's ever gonna see these. Not even if DVDs were still R.I.P. Maybe
Schindler's
they're
List
coming
bloopers
back,
were
considering all
hysterical.
the HBO Max stuff. Maybe DVDs are coming back.
Yeah.
But even so, there's no blooper reel on this, but funny stuff happened. We're allowed.
You were allowed. And probably needed on something like this.
Yes, very that.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about this. This is, it's an excellent performance, an excellent film that really is a much more realistic look at something I've seen in film over the years, toxic relationships.
Yeah.
And we've seen kind of the sleeping with the enemy kind of genre version of this.
Yeah, I know. I was just talking about Sleeping with the Enemy this morning.
Which no shade to Sleeping with the Enemy.
Not at
by the
all.
way.
Great film. Tense.
Get those towels lined up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. But talk to me a little bit about what resonated with you about this when this one comes along.
Yeah, I think the thing that you're talking about is exactly the thing that resonated for me. That the screenwriter Alana was bringing a lot of her own experience into it, and she wrote this script that on the page you could feel the tension and the poetry of it, the kind of anxious, oppressive atmosphere of the movie. And there was never a sense of but what's gonna happen next? It was very clear from the first page that this was a kind of psychological portrait, and that also meant that the people who are going to be drawn to this movie are going to be coming into it because of that.
Right.
So everybody was bringing their A game because everybody was coming into it really passionately, whether they'd had a personal experience with a relationship like this or very close to somebody who did. And I think everybody's either it's happened to them or they're close to somebody that it's happened to, and so it's something that sort of touches so many people, and it meant that everybody was bringing real heart and real specificity to the movie, and it was this atmosphere of half group therapy and half filmmaking, and I think we all felt well, we could sort of do some cheats here and take some shortcuts and
Right.
make sure that, I don't know, that we've got a movie, and it just felt but then why are we here?
Yeah, if
why
you're
are
gonna
we
do it.
doing this?
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about, because I know you've talked about how, this also, as you said, you related to this as many people will on a personal level. Did you find that in retrospect that was helpful for you? Do you feel I'm fixed now. This movie fixed me. I'm good.
Oh God, wouldn't that be great if
Right.
art fixed us?
Yeah.
Yeah, if art fixed people, man, artists would be less crazy.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting, that draw to work through your stuff in art and know it's not gonna fix your problems. It is not a route to healing, but there's still that you're compelled to do it anyway. And I do think that there's there's like value in knowing that like, oh, this is sort of the movie I wish I had seen, you know, that kind of thing. Like that was what I talked to Mary, the director, about a lot, was like, I think, you know, there are lots of portrayals of abusive relationships where people would go, well, that's not happening, so I guess I'm fine.
Right, that's not a full checklist. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that, to be in this very confusing state for 90 minutes has value, because, you know, when, like, one of the first people that saw it told me that he was like, yeah, for like half the movie, I wasn't sure if Alice was making it all up. Right. And I was like, that's kind of the thing that I couldn't put it into those words, but it was like, right, that's what you're going for, because that's the experience.
Right. Well, it's a very subjective experience from an audience member. You're kind of like in her shoes, in her head, and you're kind of like, yeah, wait, am I going crazy? Like, is this psychological black swans territory where I'm like losing my mind? And
Completely.
I guess what you're saying is, sadly, that's really the experience for many people.
Yeah, and to be subjective means that you're questioning, like, yeah, I'm watching the movie, I feel like I'm going crazy, and how much can I trust Alice? And of course, Alice is not sure. Yeah. So that was a really juicy place to be, and like a place that we all wanted to be mining.
Are the rewards of this, is it different for you to do something like this? Because it's been a minute, I feel like, since you've done something, you know, not that the other stuff is...
Oh, I did this for the paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
The fat paycheck that I got for this.
Infinity War Endgame, watch out. Alice Darling is coming for you. But no, I mean, that is the goal, right? Is to create some meaningful art for yourself and the audience. Does this check a box, just like creatively, that hadn't been fulfilled in a minute, or
yeah, no? Well, I mean, I do think that I did go into it feeling like I had been working so much before COVID that I was getting very good at acting for Video Village. Right. And like knowing what they wanted and giving it to them, because I'm a very professional young lady, and that was like the thing that I was fulfilling on a daily basis. Yeah. And to do something that is more restrained is really terrifying. Right. I think to be very still and know that the dailies are going back to, you know, whoever's watching the dailies, and that they might be like, huh, today didn't make me go, the dailies look great. Right. And trust that, like, it will be a whole performance is really scary and uncomfortable for me, because you and I have a similar thing where it's like, I know how to perform, I know how to make everybody happy, and I know what they want, and I'll give it to them. And to trust that, like, I know what you want today, but what you're going to want in a year is something a little different. Yeah. And something a little more whole. And again, like, the whole exercise for me now is about self-trust. So to trust that was actually really valuable. So the movie's called Alice Darling. Has there been a quote-unquote kind of like a pet name that a friend or lover or whatever has given you that you've hated, like a condescending kind of, in retrospect, like, oh, I can't believe I let myself be called this? Oh, there's something, not like a boyfriend, but when girls that I don't know that well call me sweetie, oh, what's happening? What's going on here? I don't know why. I'm sure that other people don't have a problem with that, but there's just like, there's something about sweetie where I'm like, you have to know me for at least 7 months before you get sweetie. I feel like in your presence over the years, I feel like I've heard a lot of like, oh honey, kind of a thing. Like, I don't know. In my presence? You saying that to me or others, and I feel like that's because I enjoy teasing you. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, so speaking of, sweetie. Exactly. I've looked back at our thousands of conversations over the years. It's kind of an interesting time capsule of pop culture to look at, like, all the, like, this or that, Iggy Azalea or Kim Kardashian. It's like, it's always like we're always talking about what's in the moment. So, in that spirit, because you are my barometer for what's happening in pop culture, always. You keep me young, Anna. Are you watching Lord of the Rings or House of the Dragon? I have not watched either, which is bananas,
What
right?
happened to you?
I know.
This was
Well,
pre the elevator
I'm
thing.
about to direct, so I'm in like movie land. I'm watching like lots of 1970s movies to get inspired. But because I am like, when was the last time I binged a show? What is going on with me? But I'm trying to like, be a professional and do my research. It's really annoying.
The Dating Game is the film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for you. Okay, this is pretty soon. You're shooting, right? So what's going to be the vibe? What's the vibe of the movie? What's the vibe of Anna on set going to be? Are you going to be
A taskmaster. Yeah. Every horror story you've ever heard,
Right.
I'm gonna top all of them. That's my goal.
The good news is that young female directors are given a fair shot, and they always get good
And
press.
they can misbehave as much as they want.
Yeah, it's an even playing field. So you're fine.
Absolutely, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It won't overtake the movie at all. No, the vibe is it's look, it's a scary movie. It's based on a really enraging, harrowing true story.
Yeah.
But it's also again, it's a script that I really responded to because there's moments of real poetry in it, and it's this really shocking framework of like a serial killer who went on the dating game, but it's almost like an inroad to talk about intimacy and shame and really kind of get into some of the juice of the way that you put yourself at risk and the way that this man operated and kind of managed to slip through the cracks in the system and took advantage of that for many, many years.
Have you thought about, like, I mean, what does it fill you with when you think about like those first couple days that are going to be on set? Because I would imagine you've been thinking about this for a few years.
Oh, full blackout. There's no way I'm going to remember the first 3 days. Just all adrenaline.
But I mean, you're a high energy person anyway. I could imagine that for those first few days, it's going to be just manic in the best possible way.
I know. I actually, I feel like I have to remember to like, I can get very, again, I think we're sort of cut from the same cloth in this way. Like, I can get very just like prefrontal cortex where it's just like, okay, I just need to focus on this thing and I can figure this out.
Yeah.
And that to like breathe into myself and like get my body involved would probably be a good idea. And to be able to like actually be present for the experience will be something I'll be trying to do because I know it will be tempting to just go into like hyper-focused adrenaline brain.
I'm very excited for you.
Thank you.
Talk to me. So there's been no escape lately. You haven't been watching Top Gun Maverick like on a daily basis just to like decompress.
Oh, I know. What
have you not seen that film?
No, I haven't seen it. I
You
know.
should be.
I
Anna,
should be.
you should be a pilot. You don't take up much space. They can devote more weaponry.
Is that a thing with pilots? Is it like jockeys?
Yeah, I think. Well, that's a good question. Well, I'm not going to say anything about Tom's size, but I mean, we know he's not 7 feet tall.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'd be a great pilot.
Just saying.
That's really the main requirement for pilots is to just not take up too much space.
Yeah, so
everybody knows that.
You're in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you have never done, as much as we've talked about over the years, like your love of fantasy and genre and stuff. Just as a consumer, you've never been in armor on a horse, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
And
What the hell? That's true.
Hey!
Hey, world. What's going on? I know.
Do you not chase it? Do they not think of you? What's happening?
I think it's possible that I'm just thought of as too loud and shrill to be on a horse in shining armor. That might be the issue.
Well, there were loud and shrill people in medieval times.
Like just giving speeches like, "Today we ride, okay? For honor, for valor.
Follow me now."
I don't know why my phone isn't ringing.
Yeah, weird. I'm trying to do you a favor. Just expand the options. A simple favor.
Yeah.
So this is, I was going to say an unlikely franchise, but maybe not. I mean, there was always hope from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
from Paul, I think, right?
I think that, like, the idea always appealed to Paul, and I was like, well, of course it would be heaven to do more of these, but in what way?
Right.
How would we do that? And, like, I obviously can't say anything, but, like, it's so clever. It's so good. I'm so excited.
Are there adjectives you can assign to this? Is it more...
No.
Okay.
I'm trying not to get in trouble, guy.
You and Blake, you and Paul, the triumvirate is back.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ryan get in? Does Ryan Reynolds get a cameo?
I mean, I imagine that's up to Blake. She wears the pants in the film and all the time, I imagine.
But you like the script. You're excited by the
I'm
the
very,
ideas.
very excited about the script.
It's all happening, Anna. We're back. As long as you can keep escaping elevators.
Can you believe that?
No, I'm really frankly amazed you survived.
Like, really, when we got stuck in between floors and, like, because I was waiting for the door to open, and when I heard them on the top of the elevator, I was like, my life is a movie.
What a way to go, though. What a great
What's going
story.
on?
In retrospect, in the years to come, I could have said,
Oh,
my
immediately.
buddy Anna Kendrick died in an elevator mishap.
Well, I'm glad I didn't die, Josh.
Me too. I'm just saying, if you're going to go, make it a good story.
But immediately, as soon as, like, any of this happens, like, from the microsecond of, like, wait, are you serious? We're stuck in the elevator? Immediately, I'm like, well, this is a story. Like, this is how my brain works.
This is good. Talk show story. Yeah, you're like, Fallon, got it.
I'm like, today's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, one less thing. It's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Thank you.